Hello everyone, I am Chase at Rocky Mountain ATV giving you a closer look at the SG-12 boot from Gaerne. All right, so today we're giving you a closer look at the SG-12 boot coming from Gaerne. This is the flagship boot in their lineup. Now, if you are shopping for a premium boot, there are a lot of features to like about these. I've spent a lot of time in these personally, so I will give you some of my thoughts and feedback as we go through this. But real quick, just a couple things that I love about Gaerne. They're an Italian company, and what I love so much about them is that they make all their boots right out of Italy, which means their quality is second to none. Something that I've really noticed with these boots is the durability. They last a very long time. I've had mine for well over a year. I've spent a lot of hours in them, and they still look and are holding up extremely well. So I really think that with the investment that you're making here, getting a lot of value. Now, before we get in, we talk about the features. Let's talk about fit real quick. So with these, fitment, true to size, very comfortable boot, nice and wide toe box. So for riders that have wider feet, it will accommodate those well. I love the memory foam that you have around the ankle area on the inside. So as you put your foot in, very comfortable step in comfort. They're a little bit stiff right out of the box, so just remember that. They are gonna take a little bit of time to break in, but once they do break in, man, these things are awesome. But remember, this is an apparel item, which means if you buy this boot or any other that we sell at Rocky Mountain, we have our fit guarantee. If you're not happy with the sizing or the fitment, send it back to us in brand new unused condition. We wanna make sure you get the size and the fit that you are looking for, and that is why we give free shipping both ways on your first exchange. So with the SG-12, we talked about fit. Like I said, nice wide toe box. Also, what I do like as well is that the shin plate, I'll show you a little bit later, it is adjustable. So for riders that do have larger calves or maybe you wear a knee brace, if you've ever had a boot where you had a hard time closing it up around the top, not gonna have that problem with the SG-12 because they give you multiple adjustment points with that shin plate. So it's gonna be plenty large enough to accommodate even the biggest legs that are out there. So something I really like that they do. When we talk about construction, like I mentioned, it's something that Gaerne is known for. So you're gonna get premium leather as your base material, but you can see just how much hard reinforced plastic you're getting throughout this entire boot. Again, that's the durability factor that I'm talking about. Also just really good protection for the rider. So you can see you've got that hard plastic here over top the toe box. You've got this little panel right here for your shifting. Looking at the medial side, again, lots of hard plastic working your way up. When you look at the heel cup, shock absorbing heel cup, a lot of protection there. Hard plastic backing on the calf plate. And then when you look at the medial side here, you can see you've got their proprietary rubber compound that Gaerne uses working your way all the way up the medial side. Nice flat profile, so it does feel very good against the bike when you're squeezing. Also, I do like this rubber material, nice and grippy, so it does offer some good grip on the bike. So looking at the front here, with the toe box, it is pretty low profile, something I like. They actually did update this boot a few years back, and they made that toe box a little bit more streamlined, a little bit more low profile, so that's gonna help with shifting. You have this steel toe cap here, so this is removable. Some riders like to take it off, some leave it on. That's gonna be rider preference. But ultimately, one of the reasons that is there is also to help to protect the sole. You're gonna have a traditional stitched on sole. We'll talk a little bit more about it. But if maybe you're a rider, you use your boot to pack in your gate at the gate, well, that will actually help prevent you from delaminating that sole. So that's another good benefit to having that steel toe cap on there, along with just the added reinforcement of that being steel. But looking at the buckle design, I've spent a lot of time, like I said, in a lot of different boots. This is hands down my favorite buckle of any boot that I've worn. Very easy to operate. And what I love so much about it is just that I've never had an issue with the buckles. So the straps, they're adjustable. The buckles, you can see alloy buckles, these are replaceable. A lot of your high wear items on this boot are replaceable, again, adding to the longevity. But what I love so much about these is, yes, they're very simple to operate. But I've had other boots that I've ridden in where when the buckles get dirty and they get gunked up, sometimes I have to literally lubricate the buckle to get those to work. I've never had that issue, and I've never had to do that with the SG-12s. So the buckles for me have just always worked flawlessly. So very good buckle design. Open these up, show you up here at the top. So here's that adjustability that I was talking about earlier. If I open this up all the way, you can see right here, you've got 2 more adjustment points for that shin plate. So what you wanna do, you've got 3 screws here on the outside, just take those screws out, adjust the shin plate to where you want it, put the screws back in, and you're good to go. Now with the gaiter, open this up, you're gonna have what they call an acrylose material for the gaiter on the inside. I really like it. I've put a lot of sweat into these boots. They've never been stinky on me, so this material does a great job when it comes to moisture wicking. It doesn't retain odor, at least for me it hasn't. So I do like this material that they're using. Again, like I mentioned too, you're not gonna be able to see it, but you do have a lot of memory foam that's right around that ankle area that makes these very comfortable when you put them on. So let's do these back up real quick. So when we talk about protection, obviously that's the investment that you're making here. And Gaerne has a pretty unique setup. They use what they call their Razorback system. So when we look at the back here, you're gonna notice it's a multi-piece setup. So you've got your main piece here down here at the foot shell, but then you can see what they call their Razorback, which is this piece right here in the middle. But what I like though is that this gives the boot good range of motion, but also adds really good lateral support to the boot. So I mean side to side, so good lateral rigidity, so great protection there. But also that is incorporated or works in conjunction with their glide plate system. So we see a lot of premium boots that have a hinge on the medial and lateral side, but a lot of boot hinges just pivot on one single point. So what Gaerne's actually does is you have this gliding hinge. So rather than just pivoting on a single point, it glides back and forth. And the purpose of that is just to help the boot stay with the natural range of movement of the rider's ankle. And that's something that I've really enjoyed. I like this pivot system that they have. Also, what I like about that glide system is that when I wear these, when I bend all the way forward in that rider attack position, I don't get any bulging here on the inside. So overall, I like their glide system. I like how that works in conjunction with that Razorback. It's just been a rock solid boot. Last thing we'll talk about is gonna be with the sole. So you've got a dual compound shock absorbing sole. You are gonna have what they call their Supercross steel shank in here. They say it's the best the money can buy. It's lightweight, adds a lot of support to the sole, so that's gonna come about halfway up the boot. So like I said, dual compound sole, it's that traditional stitched-on sole. It is replaceable, so if it does wear out, you can send it off to a shoe cobbler to have that replaced. Now with the sole, a little bit of feedback that I wanna give. When I first put these boots on, I love the material of the sole. It lasts a very long time. But the first thing I notice is that I don't have as much feel as some of the other boots that I've ridden. In other words, I'm not feeling my foot pegs as much, but over time, the more I rode in them, well, the more I start to get that feeling back. So if you first put these on, if you feel like you can't really feel your foot pegs all that well, can't feel your controls, just give it a little bit of time. It will break, and if you're like me, you are going to love these boots. And that is it. That is the SG-12 coming from Gaerne. Now from here, if you wanted to, you can step down to the SG-10, which is gonna save you about $100. The SG-10, very similar in construction. The big differences between that and the SG-12, the shim plate on the SG-10 is not adjustable. And on the 10, instead of using that glide plate system, they just have more of that traditional hinge that's just gonna pivot on a single point on the medial and lateral side. But other than that, both rock solid boots. If you have any other questions, comments, if you've been riding in these, leave that feedback below. It's gonna help other riders out. Pick up your next set. It's real simple. Just click on the link at the end of this video. As you can see, a lot of cool colorways to choose from. Orders over $75 ship free. If you guys like this product spotlight, give it a thumbs up. Get subscribed to our YouTube channel. That way you stay up to date on the latest gear guides, product reviews, and how-to videos that we're constantly filming. I am Chase. We'll see you on the trails.